My dear brothers and sisters, one of the greatest motivations that Allah has given us in this world is the promise of Jannah, paradise. When life feels heavy, when tests become overwhelming, when you feel surrounded by pain, loss, or struggle, Allah reminds us that this life is temporary, but what awaits the believer is eternal. Jannah is not just a reward, it is the ultimate home of peace, love, and joy. It is the place where every tear is wiped away, every wound is healed, and every longing of the heart is fulfilled. Think for a moment of the most beautiful scene you have ever witnessed in this world: the mountains, the rivers, the stars in the sky, the colors of a sunset. Think of the most comforting feeling you've ever had: the embrace of a loved one, the moment a prayer was answered, the relief after hardship. Think of the sweetest taste, the most pleasant fragrance, the most beautiful sound. Then realize that Jannah is beyond all of that. Nothing in this world can compare, because the Prophet described it as what no eye has ever seen, what no ear has ever heard, and what no heart has ever imagined. The beauty of Jannah is not only in its gardens, rivers, and palaces, but in the peace of the heart. Imagine a life with no sadness, no fear, no anxiety, no illness, no injustice, no jealousy, no pain. Imagine waking up every day in eternal youth, with perfect health, endless joy, and pure companionship. In Jannah, every single person will feel completely satisfied, not only with what they have but with who they are. There will be no comparisons, no insecurities, no rivalry. Every heart will be free of grudges, every soul will be content. Allah tells us that in paradise there will be rivers of water, rivers of milk, rivers of honey, and rivers of pure drink that bring joy without harm. The homes of Jannah will be palaces more magnificent than anything built in this world, with pearls, gold, silver, and treasures that no mind could design. The ground will be made of musk and saffron, and the trees will give shade so vast that a rider could travel under it for years without reaching its end. The fruits will hang low, ready to be picked without effort. The food will be endless, the drinks will be pure, and the gatherings will be filled with joy. But Jannah is not only about what is seen and tasted, it is about the people you will be with. Imagine being reunited with your family and friends who believed and entered paradise. Imagine sitting with the righteous, the prophets, the martyrs, and the people you admired in faith. Imagine hearing their stories, laughing together, and never worrying about time running out. In this world, every joy is limited. The happiest moments eventually end, but in Jannah, joy is forever. You never have to say goodbye, you never fear loss, you never worry about separation. And the greatest blessing of Jannah, beyond all its beauty, is to see Allah. The people of paradise will gather, and Allah will allow them to behold His face. That moment will be more beautiful than all the palaces, more fulfilling than all the rivers, more joyous than all the treasures. It is the ultimate reward for the believer, the closeness to the one we prayed to, cried to, begged for help, and loved without seeing. In Jannah, we will see Him, and that vision will erase every hardship we ever went through in this world. The Prophet told us that Jannah has 8 gates, and each gate represents a different path of devotion. Some people will enter because of their prayer, others because of their fasting, others because of their charity, others because of their patience. Some people will be invited to all 8 gates. This should remind us that Jannah is wide, and there are many paths that lead to it. You don't have to be perfect, but you need to be sincere. Every good deed you do is an investment in your home in paradise. Every moment you fight your desires, every tear you shed in prayer, every coin you give for the sake of Allah, it is all building your palace, planting your trees, and decorating your home in Jannah. The Prophet also described that the lowest level of paradise is greater than the entire world and everything in it. That means even the least rewarded person in Jannah will live in unimaginable bliss. And the highest levels, like Al-Firdaus, will be for those who strived the most, those who loved Allah and His Messenger deeply, those who sacrificed and gave their lives for goodness. There is a place for every believer, and not a single sincere act of faith is wasted. Now, when we hear all this, we must remember that Jannah is not cheap. If it were easy, everyone would enter. It requires struggle, sacrifice, and sincerity. The prophet said that paradise is surrounded by difficulties, while hell is surrounded by temptations. That means if you want Jannah, you must be willing to go through hardships, to control your desires, to choose what is right even when it is hard. Every time you resist sin, every time you stand in prayer when you are tired, every time you forgive when you could take revenge, you are choosing Jannah, and yet Allah's mercy is so vast that Jannah is ultimately His gift. None of us will enter paradise by our deeds alone, but by the mercy of Allah. That is why we must constantly ask Him for it, beg Him for it, and never feel entitled to it. We strive, we struggle, but we also stay humble, knowing that without His forgiveness and mercy, we are lost. My dear brothers and sisters, the beauty of Jannah should not only motivate us, it should comfort us. When you lose someone you love, remind yourself that if they were righteous, you will meet them again in Jannah, where separation does not exist. When you go through suffering, remind yourself that Allah promises you relief, either in this life or in the eternal gardens of paradise. When the world seems unfair, when you see injustice, oppression, and cruelty, remind yourself that Jannah is the place where justice is complete and peace is perfect. So what can we do to prepare for Jannah? Keep your heart attached to Allah. Stay consistent in prayer, even if it's hard. Give charity, even if it's little. Forgive others, even if they don't deserve it. Be patient, even when it hurts. And never stop asking Allah for His mercy and paradise. The Prophet would often make dua. O Allah, grant us Jannah and protect us from the fire. This should be on our tongues every day, because no matter how busy we are, no matter what we achieve in this world, the real success is entering Jannah. My brothers and sisters, the beauty of Jannah is not something we can fully imagine, but it is something we can strive for. Think of it every time you feel weak, every time you are tempted, every time you feel the weight of life. Remember that every step you take towards Allah is a step towards that eternal home of peace. And the moment you enter Jannah, all the pain of this life will disappear as if it never existed. The struggles will seem like a dream, and only joy will remain. So let us live with Jannah in our hearts. Let it shape our choices, let it guide our priorities, and let it inspire our patience. May Allah grant us all a place in paradise, reunite us with our loved ones, and bless us with the ultimate gift of seeing His face. Jannah is not only about gardens, rivers, and palaces. It is something far beyond what the human imagination can capture. It is the eternal reward for those who believed, struggled, and stayed steadfast. The beauty of Jannah is not just in the descriptions of pearls, silk, or golden homes, but in the peace that fills every soul that enters it. There is no sadness there, no worry, no fear of tomorrow, no pain of yesterday, no regret of missed opportunities. It is a place where the heart finds complete rest, where you never have to think about loss or grief again, where families are reunited with no chance of separation, and where love never fades. In this life, even the sweetest moments are temporary, and every smile is shadowed by the fear of it ending. In Jannah, the sweetness is forever, and the joy only increases with time. The ultimate blessing in Jannah is not the rivers of milk or the gardens of eternal beauty, but the chance to see Allah, the very Creator who promised mercy and kept His word. That moment will be more valuable than anything else, more beautiful than any sight in creation, more comforting than any embrace. To be near to Allah is a joy that this world cannot contain. The beauty of Jannah is that every believer, no matter how broken their life was on earth, finds complete healing there. Those who struggled with illness will never feel pain again. Those who cried themselves to sleep will never know tears again. Those who faced injustice will never feel wronged again. Every wound is healed, every scar is erased, and every sorrow is forgotten. The person who was patient in the most difficult times will walk into eternal delight and wonder why they ever cried in the first place. Jannah makes every struggle worth it, every sacrifice meaningful, every hardship purposeful. It is the everlasting reminder that Allah never abandons those who trust Him, that no tear shed for His sake goes unnoticed, and no pain endured in patience is forgotten. In Jannah, the people will live in harmony with no jealousy, no hatred, and no grudges. Imagine a world where every person you meet is smiling, every conversation fills your heart with joy, every gathering is filled with love, and not a single soul wishes harm upon another. In this life, our relationships are tested by misunderstandings, betrayals, and heartbreak. In Jannah, none of that exists, because Allah purifies the hearts of the people who enter it. Spouses will look at one another with admiration that never fades, friends will rejoice with each other endlessly, and children will laugh in safety without fear of harm. Every relationship is healed, every love is perfected, and every connection is everlasting. The homes in Jannah are not just made of gold, silver, or jewels. They are built with the deeds of this world. Every prayer, every charity, every moment of patience, every act of kindness builds a brick in the eternal home. Some homes will overlook rivers that flow gently with clear water. Some will be surrounded by trees bearing fruit that you can pluck without effort. Some will have gardens where the fragrance never fades. You will never tire of the scenery, never need to leave for something new, because every moment in Jannah brings a new delight, something greater than before. There is no boredom, no need to seek entertainment, because the beauty of Jannah is endless and every second brings something better than the last. Food in Jannah is not like food here. In this life, the best meals still leave us hungry again, and too much can harm us. In Jannah, every bite is perfect, every sip quenches the soul, and every taste only increases in delight. You will never feel full in an uncomfortable way, never feel thirst, never feel the need to restrict yourself. Every craving will be satisfied instantly, and every desire will be fulfilled without effort. Imagine never having to cook, never having to clean, never worrying about what is halal or haram, because everything is pure, everything is from Allah's mercy. One of the most beautiful parts of Jannah is that the people will hear the greetings of peace from the angels, and they will feel honored by Allah Himself. No one in Jannah will ever feel forgotten or unimportant. No one will ever be excluded. Every single believer will feel cherished. There will be no loneliness, no isolation, no emptiness. In this life, we often feel unnoticed, unappreciated, or overlooked. In Jannah, every person will feel that they belong completely, that they are valued eternally, that they are finally home. But the greatest beauty of Jannah remains the chance to be with Allah. Imagine the moment when the believers are called to gather, and the veil is lifted, and they are given the privilege to see their Lord. That moment will erase every memory of pain, every worry of life, every difficulty they faced. It will be more precious than the rivers, more valuable than the palaces, more delightful than the fruits or the clothing. To look at the one who created you, sustained you, forgave you, and granted you eternal joy will be the highest reward. That is the moment when the believer will say, "Nothing in the heavens or the earth is more beautiful than this." The path to Jannah is not easy, and that is what makes it so precious. It requires patience in hardship, gratitude in ease, sincerity in worship, and kindness in character. It requires resisting temptation, forgiving others, and striving even when the world pulls you down. But every effort will be rewarded far beyond imagination. The Prophet described that what awaits in Jannah is something no eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, and no heart has ever imagined. That means the most beautiful things we see in this world are only shadows of what is waiting. The tallest mountains, the clearest oceans, the most breathtaking skies, all of them are nothing compared to a single glance of Jannah. Jannah is the home of peace, and it is the ultimate dream of every believer. But it is not given by deeds alone, it is entered only by the mercy of Allah. This should humble us, remind us that no matter how much we do, It is His forgiveness that grants us entrance. Yet it should also motivate us, because even the smallest deeds done sincerely can weigh heavily on the scale. A smile, a kind word, a small charity, a prayer made in the night, all of these can be keys to the gates of paradise. Every time you face hardship in this world, remind yourself of the promise of Jannah. Every time you feel exhausted, remind yourself of the eternal rest waiting ahead. Every time you struggle to hold on to faith, remember that Allah has prepared something so beautiful that it cannot even be described in full. Let this hope keep you strong, let it heal your wounds, let it guide your choices, because nothing you sacrifice for Allah will ever be wasted. Jannah is worth every effort, every tear, every prayer. Paradise is not simply a dream or a story we hear. It is the final destination that every believer's heart longs for, but it is not gained without effort. It is not a place of ease for those who lived lives of arrogance and pride without remembering their Creator. It is for those who struggled, who fell down and got up again, who made mistakes but kept turning back to Allah, who sacrificed their comfort in this life for the sake of something much greater. Jannah is earned through struggle, through patience in trials, through sincerity in worship, through sacrifices that people may not even notice. It is through choosing prayer over sleep, forgiveness over anger, generosity over greed, and truth over falsehood. Every small act done sincerely is an investment. Every smile, every coin given in charity, every kind word, every hidden tear in the middle of the night builds your place in eternity. Yet at the same time, no one will walk into paradise saying, "I deserve this." It is entered only by the mercy of Allah, because His mercy outweighs our deeds, His forgiveness covers our shortcomings, and His generosity gives us more than we ever earned. When you think about it, life itself is a test, a short journey where every moment is weighed. Sometimes it is through hardship that Allah draws us closer to Him. When we lose something we love, when we feel pain that no one else sees, when we are wronged and no one speaks for us, these are the moments that shape our soul. If we hold on to patience and trust, if we turn our tears into prayers, those very wounds become the keys to our eternal home. Paradise is not for those who lived in comfort without faith, but for those who held faith even when life was uncomfortable. It is for those who sacrificed their desires for the sake of Allah's pleasure, for those who chose to walk away from sin even when no one was watching, for those who forgave when they could have taken revenge, for those who gave when they could have kept for themselves. These struggles are not forgotten, they are written, and they are rewarded in ways we cannot imagine. But the most humbling truth is that no matter how many good deeds we do, they will never be enough to pay for paradise. A lifetime of prayer and fasting cannot repay Allah for even the gift of eyesight, or the gift of a beating heart, or the air we breathe every day. This should remind us that Jannah is a gift, a mercy, something Allah gives out of His love, not something we can demand. And yet, Allah in His kindness counts every effort, multiplies every good deed, forgives so much of what we regret, and welcomes us into His gardens when we remain sincere. That is why sincerity is everything. You may do a small act that no one notices, but if it is pure, it may weigh more than a lifetime of empty deeds. Think about how every step you take towards Allah is a step towards Jannah. When you choose to pray instead of wasting time, when you give charity in secret, when you hold your tongue from gossip, when you choose patience instead of anger, you are moving closer to that eternal home. Sometimes the steps are heavy, sometimes they feel small, but they all count. The beauty of our faith is that even when we stumble, even when we fall into sin, if we turn back to Allah sincerely, He not only forgives but replaces those sins with good deeds. That means even our failures, when followed by repentance, can become bricks in the palace of paradise. Paradise is not built on grand gestures alone, but on consistency. A prayer every day, a bit of charity often, small acts of kindness repeated regularly, a constant struggle to purify the heart. Over time, these build a garden in the hereafter that reflects the seeds you planted in this world. A kind word becomes a tree, a hidden charity becomes a flowing river, a night of sincere worship becomes a palace with doors of light. Every effort matters and nothing is wasted with Allah. The Prophet taught us that Jannah is surrounded by hardships while hell is surrounded by desires. That means the road to paradise will never feel easy. It will be filled with struggles, sacrifices, and moments where you have to choose faith over comfort. But remember, those difficulties are temporary, while the reward is eternal. Every hunger felt in fasting will be replaced with eternal satisfaction. Every sleepless night spent in prayer will be replaced with eternal rest. Every tear shed in patience will be replaced with eternal joy. And when you finally walk through the gates of Jannah, every hardship will seem like a small price to pay. Jannah is not earned by perfection, but by perseverance. It is not for those who never sinned, but for those who sinned and returned, who fell and stood up again, who never gave up on Allah's mercy. The beauty of this path is that Allah does not expect perfection, but effort. He looks at the sincerity of your heart, your willingness to keep trying, your desire to be close to Him. And with every sincere effort, He increases your reward, forgives your mistakes, and brings you closer to the gates of paradise. So remember, every prayer you make is not wasted, every act of patience is not ignored, every charity is not forgotten. All of it is stored with Allah, waiting for the day when you enter a place where joy never ends and sorrow never returns. Jannah is the destination, the dream, the promise, and the reward. It is the eternal reminder that all the sacrifices, all the struggles, all the patience in this world were not in vain. And when you stand there, surrounded by beauty beyond imagination, reunited with loved ones, greeted by angels, and embraced by Allah's mercy, you will know that every step you took towards Him was worth it.